there's been many great investments I've made in my portfolio, and they all take on, to give you a little bit more value for the audience, let me tell you what I've now realized 25 years in that I look for. I have to love the idea and the person. And every time I've either loved just the idea or just the person and made an investment, I've lost. So I think if you're doing early stage investing in someone's company or an internet company or even like a local baker, like I'm starting to think about investing in small businesses more because I'm starting to notice what works. And so like if I go look at a young lady or a young man who has like a bakery or like a tea shop or like a healthy clean food store or a t-shirt shop or a bike shop, I'm starting to think more about like, could this be the next Starbucks? Could this be the next Toys R Us? When I look for that, I know now that I'm looking for, I like the idea and the person, and I've made too many mistakes with picking only one, so I have to be 2 for 2 now, and that's what I recommend to everybody who's looking. If somebody's asking you to invest and you've got a couple dollars to invest in something, even if it's like a local dentist who wants to open up another office, believe in dentistry and believe in Ronnie or Sarah, the dentist.
My sister's a dentist if you want to invest.
I love it. I love that I use that analogy.
How do you think about growing your money? Are you allocating certain percentages to certain things or?
Yeah, as you know, recently in the last 5 years, I've gotten to a place where I have a money management team and they're pushing me. I'm still way too entrepreneurial. I'm not maximizing my money. I would still rather gamble. And it's really not gambling. I'm just saying that because I want everybody to understand what I'm actually doing. I'd rather entrepreneur than invest. I'd rather lose my money going for a home run than make 7% on my money and have it sit there. And that's because I'm trying to maximize joy, not money. I'm gonna leave more than enough money for my grandchildren, let alone my children, right? So I'm not here trying to maximize my money. I'm trying to maximize my joy. I've worked really hard for a really long time and have really done right by my dad and my brother and many others. And you know, at this point in my life, I'd like to enjoy the process of making or losing money as much as possible. And so I don't think my advice is right for everyone, but I think it's right for a lot of people. And I've done that my whole life, by the way. Some of my best investments, Facebook, Twitter, things of that nature, I didn't have a lot of money. I wanted to make money through joy, and it was fun to bet on the future that I saw, and it worked out. And so I think, you know, even if you have $5,000 in savings, if you'd rather buy 100 shares of your favorite company's stock because you rock their clothes or use their video games or whatever it is, that's a good debate. Are you better off to enjoy it than to have a guaranteed return in a 401k, right? Something worth debating. Just gotta know yourself and know what you're trying to maximize for. If you're trying to maximize for money creation, then you should let professional money managers handle it. I didn't invest in Uber twice when it was my best bud, and like it was because I was a little cash strapped and I valued short-term cash over long-term opportunity. That probably cost me anywhere between $250 and $600 million, which is more money than I have right now, so that was huge. When Stephen Ross bought a piece of VaynerX, he offered me a piece of the Dolphins instead of money. I emotionally said no because I love the Jets too much. That was obnoxiously bad. I switched from YouTube to something called Vidler early in my career because I liked the tagging system of Vidler. That probably left me not being able to build 10 times bigger audience on YouTube. I was there in 2006 before anybody was there. And I really, really missed that moment. I was right and then I was wrong. I mean, I could literally give you another 100 examples of, these are big ones. These are big. So I'm on vacation just thinking, because that's what I do when I'm laying in the sun doing nothing, I can't help it. And I'm like, you know what? Fucking Netflix is gonna be huge. So I never buy stock. So like, it was like even weird for me to reach out to like my financial advisor. I'm like, I wanna buy stock. Because usually if I have stock, it's because I invested in the company early, and called my investment team and said, I'd like to put some of my cash into Netflix stock. As we're talking through we're kind of in the middle details, the Wi-Fi was back and it hung up. I call back and it doesn't work. Beep, 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 like I don't have this, I'm trying to walk around for a minute or two and I can't get the service. I'm like, you know what, fuck it. I got back, I walked all the way back to my seat, texted my team and said, we'll get to this when I get back from vacation, never do it. I mean, the number I said I wanted to put, hefty 7 figures of return. I was that right and that early. I've got too many. And anybody I think who's fairly successful in business has too many too, because it was all those decisions that got them there, which means there was a lot of other decisions they either got horribly wrong or missed out on opportunity. Not to mention, the way I actually think about life is it's the meetings and opportunities that you don't even know that you missed. Last night, there was a dinner with a bunch of leaders of agencies that at the last minute, for family reasons, I canceled. That could have been the meeting that changed the course of my career. So I just listed 4 or 5 good ones. I promise you, the 10 top biggest mistakes I've ever made were things I didn't show up for or didn't say yes to that would have led to remarkable opportunity that I have no idea even happened. I think once you get to that place mentally and realize you're constantly making mistakes and you're okay with it, it actually liberates you to enjoy this process more. And I think too many people struggle with that.
How do you make sure that you're not straying away from the things that give you joy? Because I'm sure as you're scaling, it's easy when HR gets involved and you have so many employees to lose sight of the things that give you joy just because you're running a larger operation. So how do you make sure that doesn't happen?
By hiring people to do the things that you don't love.
So what do you absolutely love in your business that you would never hire out?
Well, at the scale we're at now, you hire, but you still do it. So for example, the things I love is HR. I love my people. So even though we have a full pet team, people, experience, and talent, we wanted to rebrand it once I realized people didn't like HR. Even though we have a huge team, I still allocate a lot of time, but I get to be the cherry on top, not the sundae. You understand? It's not a requirement, it's a joy to have. I love selling. So even though Kaylin, our chief business officer, and the new business team is doing a remarkable job this year, and this is the best year that team has ever had, I still join a ton of them because I like selling our company. I like being in the big meetings where there's a crossroads in the relationship. So even though Nick and Lisa Buckley and all these head of partnerships and account are remarkable what they do, I like joining the occasional meetings that really matter. Not because I don't trust them, because I enjoy being a part of them. But at first, I'll give you a different example. We hired a lawyer and we hired him fast. Mark Yudkin, when we couldn't afford it, because there was no joy or knowledge or understanding of anything legal on my end, and I did not want to even begin to learn it, right? We hired AJ, my brother, and my dad have always handled the finances. In essence, we're the CFO. And we hired a CFO pretty early in our journey, even though AJ liked it. And so like, if AJ didn't like being a CFO and handling the books, we would have hired somebody to do finances day one. So those are examples of how I think about it and how I think it would help people to maximize joy. Hire for things you don't like to do, and even though you hire for things you like to do, spend more time on that because you're doubling up on sale. This company has a high happiness ratio for how big it is and always grows in top line revenue. It's because I'm doubling down on HR and new business.